Sandy, this time?
I am hoping, yeah.
That was the problem last time.
Yeah, I know. But it was really weird because like I tested and then it worked one time and I didn't even change the setting. And then the next time it comes, it stopped working again.
Hmm.
So it's like unpredictable.
We'll see. Somebody will tell us if
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
know.
work.
But I did like a test right before it, so
Thumbs up.
okay. So let's do a recap. So is everyone on the mural? Or if anyone cannot get on the mural, have problem accessing it? All good? Okay. And I'm going to summon everyone to where I am looking at. So as a recap, we did our piece sprint sections and we have chosen our challenge. When we were choosing the challenge, there was actually some description attached to the challenge, but then we also found out that the description was not really matching the title. And what actually attracts the team members was actually the heading itself, which is the purpose-driven employment. So then what we decided to do during our kickoff section is that we will interpret the title our own way. And then we did our problem framing section, a mini version of it, to figure out what we actually want to tackle in this challenge itself. So as a summary, we have identified what is the nature of the problem, which is how to match talent employee expectation. And why it's important to solve this problem, because the purpose of individuals match company's purpose. I also pull up this second voted item, which is attract true talents that walks the extra mile. Because when I was looking at the problem statement, the the highest voted card doesn't seem to be able to stand alone on itself. So I just pull up also the second voted one as a supported card. And then we also identify the where. So where this problem happened is during the hiring process. And who has this problem is companies with a purpose, but with no proper solutions to find matching people. So the first exercise that we are going to do before we even begin the actual design sprint, we are going to choose our problem statements for this topic. And so it was a homework or an offline exercise that I asked you guys to put down your problem statement. We have 8 of them here. And I'm going to start a voting section, give you guys a few votes on this, and then you want to vote on the cards which you think you want to have the problem statement that is the most concrete and most related to all the top voted what and why and where and who. I'll give you a little bit time to read, but I'll also start a voting session, but I won't time you on the voting, so then you can spend your time to read it. Anyone have any questions for me? All good? Okay.
In general, no, but it would be great if we do not put the pointers on the cards, so it, it helps reading.
Good point. Okay. So I just started the voting section and you will see a pop-up and you can hit that begin voting button. To vote on a card, you just simply click on the card. And if you want to remove a vote, hold down your shift key and then click on it again. And so, I'm not participating because I think we have enough participators here. So.
Sorry, Sandy, but
Yeah.
we are voting for how much fees, am I right?
No, we are voting on the problem statement.
Oh, sorry, because my screen is a bit slow. Thank you.
Okay. Is there an anonymous quit here? I wasn't sure if it's actually someone in the call.
I am the anonymous calamari one.
Okay.
Making us hungry, you know.
But yeah, it's time for a meal, a quick meal. But I don't know how to put another emoticon or personalize that one.
Sorry, what's your question? You
No,
don't
you
know?
need to sign in for having that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably he doesn't have a member link.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
yeah, maybe it's my second or third time using mural. So actually, I don't know how to do it.
So my understanding is that you have a vote left,
Yeah.
and you need to vote, and it doesn't matter if you are signed in or not. You can still vote as an anonymous quit, or any other being.
I don't know.
And in order to vote, you just need to select one of the cards and click on it, left click. And then you would have voted on that particular card.
Okay, there you go. All right, I'm adding the voting section. Oh, okay, we have two cards that have the same votes. And I'm going to copy them first and then bring it down here. And here, I mean here. Someone you, so then you know what I'm looking at. So I got two cards that have, actually, I wouldn't even do this concrete scale. Actually, I can still do. Yeah, so the first card is during talent acquisition, purpose-driven companies struggle to attract talent, new employees due to a purpose mismatch. Therefore, they miss out on highly motivated talents that wants to walk the extra mile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys to move your mouse cursor or point your mouse cursor to this concreteness scale where you think this card belongs, and move your mouse slightly so I can see your mouse cursor on my side. Is that everyone clear? Okay, I see a lot of people are already moving their mouse cursor. A lot of them here. Ladybug just joined. I would say around roughly here. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to read it out, but what you want to do is think of this card relatively to the first one that we already put in the scale. Is it more on the left side or on the right side in terms of concreteness and abstract? So the card is even for companies that have defined their purpose when in the hiring process it seems difficult to express this clearly and authentic in order to win the right people. It is important to solve this problem because mismatches waste time and effort for both employers and employees. So do you think this is more concrete and give more information and more comprehensive than the first card, or is a little bit less? So if it's more concrete, move your mouse cursor to the right side of the first card. If you think it's more abstract, then move it on the left side. So I would say we have 1, 2, yeah, I see more mouse cursor here. So what that means is we are going to take this one and then use it as our problem statement as the base for our design sprints. And I'm going to summon you all in a second. Okay. Okay, it's a huge card because it wouldn't fit on the first thing. Okay. A simple trick, if you cannot read the card, instead of zooming in and out, sometimes it may be a little bit too slow and you zoom in and out. A simple trick is hold down your X key and then mouse hover on the card, then you will see the card much bigger. Okay. And so that's our problem statement. So we can actually officially start our design sprint now. But before we do that, I would like to take a group photo. What we had a little discussion on our Slack group, and we said that we are going to have some letters cut out so that we can have the GVDS purpose when we take the photo. So if you don't have a piece of paper, Fatima looks like very confused. Do you have a piece of paper?
Yeah, you
So-
didn't notice.
I could spare an S also.
So for me, I should have the GV. Home has DS. Daniel has P. Mama has the U. Ian has R. Alexandra has P. Michael has O. Marco has S. And Juan has E. And Carlos have the what's that called? The hashtag thing. The the sign.
Oh, it's wrong.
The hashtag.
Why?
And then Carrie should have the 7.
So
Sorry, I missed which letter should I write?
Who is talking?
Juan.
Juan?
Me there.
Juan,
Yes.
you are E. Evo 8. Carrie, are you not turning your camera on?
No, I don't have a camera.
Oh, you don't have a camera. Okay.
Not where I am now.
Okay, we need someone to do the number 7 for her. Does anyone have a piece of paper that can do the number 7?
Dandy, which letter on that, Fatima?
Fatima?
It should be the one next to Carrie.
Fatima. Oh, Fatima is not on the list. Oh. Then you are number 7.
So what should I write on
Just
the
write
paper?
7. Just write 7 on the piece of paper.
Is it this way or this way?
I
Yeah,
have
it's-
this way, so
It's the other way.
I don't know where to stick on this. Okay.
You need to have it mirrored, I think.
Mirror.
Yeah,
Yep.
Alexandra, I guess you have to take it, the other way around. Now it's
I
a
did
P.
both sides.
Yeah.
Now it's a P? Okay.
Yeah, I see a
Now
P
it's a
now.
P,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe I have a
I think for
I
me
have-
too, actually. Oh, it doesn't work for me then.
No. Sandy's good.
Well, it actually works.
No,
No,
I
it's the right way. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's good? Okay.
And the P is good. The E from JP is good. The
But
7 is good from
isn't it?
Fatima.
Isn't it that?
No,
I
no,
see
no,
your
no.
other.
The green
So-
side. Yeah.
Oh,
the green
it
side is
has
awesome.
it has the nice color, like pink color.
S.
Okay.
Ian, the R is wrong.
Marco, the S is or other
Yeah,
way?
exactly.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
my U the right way?
No.
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 Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so funny. All right. Smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much. We should do like another one next tomorrow. I think it's
Definitely.
so fun.
Tomorrow is driven.
Okay. Okay. Now we are back to our design sprint. All right. So, everyone here. So we have all these how my views that we did for our expert interview. It's a lot. It's much more than usual because we have 12 team members and 5 interviews there. Let's see how it goes. So what I would like you to do is, first thing is we want to do an affinity diagram. What you want to do is you read the cards and start putting them on the top, and then give it a group name. And then if you see something that belongs to that group, then you just keep building it below it. And if you see anything that doesn't belong to any category, you can pack it at the uncategorized card. And if you see 2 cards that are very similar, you can put one of them in the redundant card. But I would also suggest to highlight both cards first so then the team can take a look of them. Is that clear? Questions? Good? Okay.
It's a lot.
Good.
It is a lot. But we have 12 people, so we also have more manpower to do this. Do you prefer music during this quiet time, or you want your concentration? Music thumbs up, music no music thumbs down.
Also, it depends of what kind of music you want to put on.
Absolutely.
Like rock band or
Last night we listened to Christmas
Christmas.
music.
Oh, that's
No,
nice.
it's already time.
Because of the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do with no music for now then. Okay.
Do you guys have lagging problems as well with the mural?
Big time, yes.
Okay.
Yes, a bit.
Weird.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Yeah. I think we have too many items on the mural.
Yeah.
Mine's actually running fine, but I'm using my phone for Zoom and just Mural for my laptop, and it seems to be fine.
Ah, could be.
You're on 5G already, Michael.
I wish.
So I think it would help if we put down the group name for some of those cards there, then we can start finding out what can fall under them.
They are too many. Usually, is that usual or is atypical?
Is it what?
There are too many cards. Is that usual or?
No, it's not. Like I mentioned at the beginning of our call, like we have the unusual number of participants in this group, which is 12. And we also
because
have,
of the subject.
yeah, and we also have like 5 interviews, so.
Okay, sorry, that was my bad.
And also a lot of groups, they may not, like not everyone would do their offline exercise. But I guess our group is very committed and really do their work, which is good.
Thanks, by the way, Mehmet, for all of the interviews.
I didn't do all of the interviews.
Almost all, but a lot.
Yeah.
That must have been a lot of work. Thank you for that.
Welcome, but also a lot of help from other people and also from Daniel not being in this call.
Ah, okay.
I suggest that we are able to see what's on the upper side and on the lower side, that we start doubling them, and then later on we then create a line again. Otherwise, it's a little bit difficult to get them all in line. Yeah, for example, humanize is already too much, or recruiters as well.
We can copy the first row of group names.
Ah, Daniel, we are there.
Below.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I am here.
Somehow, I don't know why I thought you were not in the call.
I thought it was another Daniel.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can copy the group names below, so we have more space.
That's also
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Let's try that.
Oh, maybe all of the group names. Yeah. No. So that makes sense. There's a little bit of delay. Sorry for that. I hope.
Yeah, I wonder if it also has to do with the number of people in the mural itself.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
We have 3 now.
I think I'm going to delete the lightning demo exercise and hopefully have less elements in the mural will help.
Oh, now we have 3 layers, huh?
Yeah.
One second. I think the middle is a little bit mixed still. We might want to.
So I created more space on the right side. Maybe we can use that as well.
And I'm thinking if it was a good idea to start voting on the favorite ones and then sort them the voted ones.
Do you think we can do that? Because I don't know if everyone can read all of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, because this activity is for reading, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe try to focus on doubling them and give them the same color.
Like the redundant cards, you mean?
No, the double cards. So if there are doubles, give them the same color. So we make less cards.
Yeah.
So the overview is better.
Yeah, I think actually. Oops.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't even know how many cards are here. I think it's over 100 or something. How about I just give you all 10 votes? And then we start voting and see what it brings us. Would that be okay? I think we can't really do this affinity diagram here. It's really too much, I think. Is that okay for everyone?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of doubles anyway, and then we need to. But once we start voting afterwards, we can
Yeah,
then
then we
cross check.
can narrow it down again if it's needed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Quick question.
So how
Are
much time do
all
we have for voting?
Sorry, who was speaking?
Fatima, how much time do we have for voting? Because we need some time to read all of these. 5 minutes?
Let's see. I'll give you 5 minutes and then we will see.
Alexandra, I also had a question. Are all how Maitris now ordered or grouped, or is the lower one still the original?
Yeah, the lower ones are unsorted yet.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll give you 14 votes, and then you can take your time to vote on them. And I'll start a timer for 5 minutes first. Don't vote on the orange cards, huh? Only the gray ones. Wow, Mehmet, did you really read all the cards?
Of course.
I doubt it.
Daniel, how could you?
Probably wrote half of them.
Wow, you're very optimistic.
But yeah, I think like we have a very, very unusual case here. Honestly, like in my past experience, we often not have enough cards rather than have too many.
I think also for this amount of cards, 14 votes are still not enough. So I said, screw it.
But I also thought like because we have 11 people voting, so
Yeah.
then that
Yeah,
also
agree.
multiplied it. So
Agree.
hopefully,
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, so that was time. I'm sure you all need more time. Looks like. Okay. 2 more minutes.
And also, maybe I see some negative votes, meaning there have been some votes too much, maybe.
Oh yeah, how did that happen?
I didn't know.
Let me take a screenshot, and then
I had that earlier. It's a weird bug.
yeah, let's send it to Miro.
So Anonymous Bird and Alexandra, you have had too many votes.
Too many?
But I don't
yes,
know. I don't know if it's really just showing it on our side or really they had too many votes.
Yeah. So if you look at 2 people are voting and then you click on it, then you see a -1 votes left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried out on my own. So I cannot do it, but it seems you can do it. So if you shift click on one of the votes, we can then see maybe it goes to 0, Alexandra.
See?
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
it did.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
But I thought I was on 0 before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now I have 1 vote left.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I meant. I think it's really just on our side.
Yeah, very
It's
interesting
really weird.
because it has 0 votes left on our side and
Yeah.
1 vote left on your side. Interesting. Yeah.
So can I spend the 1?
Yeah,
can
of course.
Try?
Do it. I think we have enough cards to do even more.
Alexandra, we trust you that you tell the truth.
My purpose. Always say the truth.
Yeah. Okay. 8 seconds. Put your votes down.
Oh, great picture.
Yay! Good job, everyone.
Hooray.
All right, ending voting section. Let's see what it brings to us.
I think my head just exploded.
Okay, interesting. So actually, we don't have a lot of unique votes here. Well, a lot of 1 votes. Let me go out.
I like the second.
So
I think
the second and the third with 5 and 6 unique voters.
Yeah.
So question, because the thing is we have also a lot of unique one voters. So what do we do? Do we just move on with the highest voting in comparison to unique voters, or would we like to basically sum everything up and try to find duplicates?
Well, yeah, the issue here is that we didn't undouble them. So there are a lot of 1 votes, but they maybe be the same and eventually be a higher vote. So that's an issue.
So what I propose is that we are going to do a second round of voting, but only on the stuff that is already have at least 2 votes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good idea.
I'm just debating if I should delete the unvoted card. What is the easiest way? Because we have a lot. Could someone help me?
Why? Yeah.
So
Tell me.
if you can, if anything that has one or less vote, move to the left side on the empty area and only have the stuff that have vote on this area. Okay?
Okay.
But
I take the bottom
the
ones.
thing is that those one with one vote might have a similar, I don't know, concept or similar idea. Do we have time to do, I don't know, affinity diagramming for all those ones that we voted or no? How many cards do we have?
Let's see. Let's move the stuff to the left side first, and then we can figure that out.
I wanted to say something. The purpose of this activity is just to keep direction.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying,
Mhm.
but it's mainly because we are trying to decide where we are going to stand for. And also, I also have the feeling that many of these cards are related to the employees, and we decided on the first activity the
companies
that we are pursuing the companies. So
yeah, I think actually we should eliminate technically even high voted topics that are not in scope of the how might we.
Yes, and we will, because we will be doing a second round of voting.
This is exactly what I always experience in the sprints. You see that, let's say, old horses, or let's say old perspectives keep coming back over and over in later stages because there's the opportunity to vote them back in.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks much better now. Much more manageable. So I think this card is not even related.
Maybe just curious what was just being said. Who consciously did not vote on topics that related to employees? Or in other words, who only voted related on topics related to employers and hiring organizations?
Yeah.
Who did that?
I guess I didn't understand the question. I'm sorry.
We just did that last vote of 14 votes. I'm just curious whether people consciously did not vote for topics that were related to employees. Or too much employee focus and too little employer focused. I'm just curious whether that filtering was already happening while voting or not.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know if I should really, but anyway, so I wanted to say is that even though our problem statement says that is employer, like hiring, but I also feel like that's the problem, but doesn't mean that we should not think the employees are also affected. So helping the employees, like getting a how might we statements that affect the employee may also help the employers.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Sandy. But we should include the employees, but we always see it at the perspective of the company. So our target group is the company, but we use the employees insights as a stakeholder.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because I think that's where it is, Sandy. Let's say we said whose problem are we going to solve, and we said of the employer and not of the employee. But of course, the employee is a very important stakeholder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, so I think now we get to a point that we can actually do an affinity diagram. So same procedure, if you just move the card underneath the orange card and give it a group name. I don't think we actually need so many group names here. So, and hopefully we can do a little bit faster.
Mine is lagging again.
From the ones in the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
We move now. Okay.
Are we moving them with the vote on there? Can we switch that off?
You can move with the vote. So if you don't want to see the vote, I think you just need to click on that vote section icon and then high votes.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Someone did it.
I don't even see it yet.
Yeah, that could be a bias.
And I'm thinking. So just in case if you're wondering, or if you see what I just did, I copy all the cards that we moved to the left side, and I paste it in a new mural. So they're not really gone. That I just try to reduce the items in this mural, so hopefully we can make the mural board a little bit faster.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Did you want to be on top, Ian?
It's lagging like hell, so it just flips.
I've just been consulting Mural Live on their pro chat, and they say that 12 people in a mural should be normal. But if you have over 500 items in a mural, it may create some delay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
What? Only 500 items?
Maybe we should make a mural per day for each print.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I think we will have to do that.
We're just getting started by 500 items. Come on.
Ian, there's also another solution. Just kill half the team.
Also, maybe one remark. Assuming all of us have seen the interviews, while we are voting, it would be great to always keep in mind what we feel their challenges have been, and to always remind us on that during the voting, because sometimes it can get we can get easily forget things, and then just tend to vote things where we think, oh, that's a good idea, and maybe to remind us on what the best solution might be for the respective interviewees.
Okay. So looks like we are done with the affinity diagram. Can you take a quick look and see if there's any duplicate cards? If there are, then you can highlight them. Then we can see if you want to reduce one of those cards. I see the two green ones. How might we match the company values with personal value? The other is how might we design experience during the hiring process that make the purpose visible to both sides? I don't see them as the same though. What do you guys think?
No,
Any
me
thoughts on
neither.
that?
No, I agree.
Okay, then let's leave them as is. Two yellow ones. How might we give the talent a space or environment where they can express their true selves? How might we help companies to enable a safe space where the applicants can honestly tell a challenge about her life and how she solved it? What do you think?
It's quite the same, only the one is focused on the companies and the other one is from out the talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Should we take out the one for the... Okay.
Our focus is the company, so I would say the
Yeah.
company and the talent as a redundant.
Yep, correct. Other way around.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, two pink ones. How might we make purpose real for both sides? The other is how might we make purpose more tangible for on both sides to make it more clear, not just
Is it similar here, this one, to that one as well, maybe? I mean,
highlight them? I don't know which one you're talking about. The one on
The one he put it on the right.
Okay. How might we design experience during the hiring process that make the purpose feasible on both sides? Actually, yeah. Which
I
ones?
agree, they are similar.
Which ones should we keep? Any ticks? Move your mouse cursor to the card.
I'd say the last one you read.
Yeah.
So we will
right.
keep this one. This one we move.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that one just went to the bottom.
Is it not more related to storytelling? I don't see what it has to do with a map, with the match.
Which one?
That we just talked about, how to make it more visible for both sides. I see that more as a storytelling issue than a matching issue. Matching is the result of. Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Oh.
If that's the case, can we bring more cards from the previous section that are related to, I don't know, hiring process and no?
What do you mean?
Fatima wants more cards. Not enough cards for you.
She can't find her card anymore.
I just said we're getting started at 500.
Okay.
Let's give everybody one joker. They can bring in a new card.
Okay, I'm starting a voting section. Please click off the space, so don't click on any cards. Otherwise, we won't be able to vote on that card. Can't even spell. Sprint. Roughly how many cards do we have? Could anyone count fast for me?
25.
25, and we have... and we have... Oh, we lost one member. Over? Yeah. I'll give you 5 votes on this one. Voting started. If you want to remove a vote, again, hold down the shift key and then click on the same card again. And I'm not voting. Oh, and don't vote on the redundant card section. Should have said it.
Sandy, how many votes did we have?
5.
Oh, okay. I thought 14. Okay, just a second.
Again, you did it again, Alexander.
You can
Single
actually
minus.
see, you can see how many votes you have on the top bar. It will say
I
in
normally-
progress you have
Yeah.
5 votes left.
I always, oh yeah, on there. Okay, it's right there.
Mm.
Okay, I didn't look at it.
Getting too excited.
It's like 14 votes. Okay, the bird has 1 vote left, Daniel have 2, and the owl have 2 left. One left for the owl. Oh, just switched. Are you still voting, Alexandra? I'll give you a little bit extra time.
Thank
Because,
you.
yeah, I know that
14.
you...
5 is different from 14. No, I'm done.
Okay. The owl is not though. Okay. I think I can tell who that is because based on your reaction. Okay, ending voting section. Let's see what we get here. Ooh, okay, so I think we have a winner here. The top voted card is how might we design experience during the hiring process that makes the purpose visible on both sides. The other one is how might we help reduce the time cost to find a purpose match without lose the quality. And the next one up is how might we help companies to understand hiring is not about matching skill set for now, but also for the future roles. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these 3 cards and put a border around it. The one that has the highest vote, I'm going to change the color a bit. And I'm going to copy to the next section. But before we go that, I would like to ask if you want 5 minutes break. Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
So please be back at, my time is 9:16 roughly.
Yep.
All right? Okay.
Right.
All right.
Ian, sorry, to
Yes.
home, not Ian.
Oh.
Could you ask Miro if the outline also affect the speed of the Miro board?
What is the outline you mean? The navigator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember our last GVDS, we had also a very, very, very huge board, have many, many items, but it was not as slow.
Can I share a screenshot of the total mural with them so that they have a feeling? They're asking for that.
Yeah, why don't you invite them to our live stream?
Okay, I'll do that.
I'll let them experience the lag.
Yeah, exactly.
Good one.
Let them feel the pain.
I just want to say that.
I know Sabrina's watching as well, but she's not complaining about it yet. Fatima, the birds on your side, or who's having a bird?
Yes, my side. Sorry, it's early
No,
in
it's
the
lovely.
morning.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's
Morning
nice.
bird sound.
It used to be Ian last year, or last section, that
Yeah.
always have that bird around you. I still remember.
It's
Yeah,
cold
we have
over
quite
here.
big backyard
Yeah.
and lots of birds. Yeah.
Keeps you
What's the
awake,
time,
right?
Fatima? What's the time, Fatima?
It's 6:13.
Ah, okay, great.
Yeah.
Slowly waking up.
Last night I fall asleep next to my toddler
Oh.
because I was so tired after our first day.
Mm.
It went well. We had some problem with defining the map, the last activity, but yeah, the team did a great job.
Yeah, I always found the map is the trickiest, the most trickiest part. So yeah.
But yeah, it did run over time for a bit though.
Yeah, they stayed 10-15 minutes extra, but we managed to finish that.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know if you can get to that today because we spent 1 hour on the HLIV section. Let's see. But if we don't finish the map, we can at least start on it, I think. I have the feeling that we should be able to move much faster now.
Sandy, can we have that 5-minute intermezzo as well?
Can we what?
Can we do that 5-minute talent sprint intermezzo as well?
Sure, I think.
After the break?
Yeah. Michael, you had a question or you wanted to say something?
No, I went fingers crossed.
Ah, fingers crossed. Did everyone fill out their profile actually?
I did.
I did.
I don't know. Who missed, Jerome?
Well, actually, I'm quite amazed. I think at an hour before the meeting, I think I got all except 1 or 2 in. I think Carrie still is going to work on it. But let's say the majority was all in. I think we had 1 or 2. So I think that's also an interesting one. If you have the time offline to read the profiles, actually I did. And it's quite interesting to see what motivates you all individually and what's your background. Also a little bit from that side. So enjoy the read, I would say, but let's also use the coming 5 minutes also to explore it a bit more.
Yeah,
I couldn't finish that.
Yeah, maybe a tip for the use if you visit the Talent Sprint mural. If you use the outline button in the top section, you almost get a navigator, so you can jump from person to person easier than using the zoom in and zoom out and things like that. So that may help you to quickly access some of the profiles of the individuals and deep dive on them.
Yeah, that's what I used the whole time too, the online. I don't know if it actually makes a difference. So I found out or at least I feel like when I zoom into one section, it seems like it's faster than if you work more far away. I don't know if it has to do because maybe the browser is trying to render more items when you are more far away and have more stuff in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a refresh rate.
Okay, guys, it is 1:15. We've passed it, and Sandy gave me 5 minutes.
I'm starting the timer. No, just kidding.
For a small talent sprint intermezzo, and we're not going to sing a song together. That's not what we're going to do.
Oh, I was ready for it.
we can do that on day 3, but some of the previous talent sprint exercises, what was really appreciated by the individual participants was almost a personal elevator speech by all the individuals. So during the coming days, we give you a few of you the opportunity, almost on the spot, to give your own personal elevator pitch as if you were running into a recruiter in the elevator, or as if you were running into a design leader of an organization and you have the opportunity to catch his attention for 5 minutes. Of course, it's a bit weird to do that now on the spot, but normally ladies goes first, but I respect the fact that they may want to prepare that a little bit for tomorrow or the day after mentally. So I'm just going to put Ian on the spot this time. And I was just wondering, Ian, if you run into someone that you think, hey, he or she needs to know who I am, what I do, and what drives me in my career, in my profession, how would you introduce yourself in 1 minute?
Wow, I'm really bad at this. That's why I joined this sprint, to learn more about that. And saying that I'm not good with words, I'm more someone who makes it or gives examples by showing the prototypes or just doing. So in that case, as for my job is collaboration with teams, and especially doing it together, I would pitch myself by giving myself an opportunity to a free internship, or let me do one case with your employees to make something work, and they can see if I'm a good colleague for them, yes or no. And else, geez. I actually don't really. The most important thing I think is the character, is the match for a character and the potential of the work. And I can't show diplomas or my years, but that doesn't really prove anything if you're in a new team with a new culture, with a new things. So spending time with the colleagues is the most important thing for me.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, we go from Lommel in Belgium, where we just were in the study of Ian. We go to Michael in Australia. And Michael, if I can ask you, who is Michael?
Oh, geez, put me in the spot. I'm just woken up. Who is Michael? I'm a freelancer, product designer. I have worked heavily in IT background. I've got a diverse background, so I've worked in civil engineering, structural engineering, always been sort of in design, technical minded, as well as design minded, and now into design thinking. Got a strong focus on customer, building relationships, internal, external stakeholders. Highly motivated, focused, empathetic, compassionate, and resourceful.
Cool. Cool. Okay, Daniel, what can we wake you up for at night? What makes you tick? What makes you be so passionate about the things you do today?
Well, for me, the most important thing is to really help people change the way they think. I really think that being innovative and all these things that are so trendy or so popular right now are about the person itself, the way of they see the view, their wall view. So for me, it's helping them trying to understand better their syntaxes or their context, so they can really see if they have a chance to do something better or use any new tools or help from someone else to give them a really good push for whatever they are trying to achieve. And in my particular case, I do product design and this innovation process like the DesignSprint to help them really give them the roadmap for doing that.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, this was a small intermezzo, so you might be picked out tomorrow for the same exercises. So the ones that can prepare the next 24 hours have a slight advantage. Hence, I even appreciate more the guinea pigs of tonight. So Ian, Michael, and Daniel, thank you very much. Ladies, it's probably your turn tomorrow.
No pressure.
Thanks for the warning. Tomorrow we only have like 5 people show up.
that was a software problem.
I promise I won't prepare too much, because then it sounds really weird.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
Gonna read here from
reading the paper.
No.
Surprise us, Alexander. Okay, Sandy.
Yeah. Okay, so that was nice. I think everyone is back here. Yeah, that's, well, I don't know because some of you are not turning on your camera, so I can't tell if you're back, but I hope you are.
I think, Sandy, I think Carlos had to leave. There's
Okay.
a message. He has an investor meeting, but he will be in tomorrow.
All right. Okay, so we are going to move to our next exercise, which is the long-term goal. So what we have done is that we think about what our how might we. So we identified 3 how might we's, and we also come up with the problem statement. I'll just go to repeat the problem statement so you are fresh in our head, and Ian is already jump starting. I'm watching. So our problem statement. Oh, actually, I'll sum you everyone here. So just in case. Our problem statement is, even for companies that have defined their purpose when in the hiring process, it seems difficult to express this clearly and authentic in order to win the right people. It is important to solve this problem because mismatches are a waste of time and effort for both employers and employee. So that's ultimately is our problems here. And what you want to think about is, for this challenge purpose-driven employment, you want to think about what is the long-term goal. So think of in terms of like not too far away, but around like 2 years of time. What is the optimistic situation for the problem that we are solving? So, any questions?
The perfect case scenario.
Yeah, the perfect
in 3
case
years.
scenarios. Like super optimistically, in 2 years, what can happen? Is that clear? Or need more explanation?
In 2 years, not 3 years.
Well, you can also do 3 years, but I just don't want you to think about like in 50 years later. Like, yeah. Okay, setting a timer.
Should we limit the number of proposals for the person, 1 or 2 only?
I'm starting a timer for 3 minutes, so I think the timer will actually limit the cards anyway.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. Just limit maybe 2 cards each if you do want to contribute.
Well, let's see how many cards we really have, like when it gets closer to 3 minutes.
So it's some kind of a vision, yeah. In 2 years' time, this is what we want to have achieved, or this is what we're envisioning.
Yeah. So in terms of our challenge and our problem that we are facing, what is your perfect scenario, the perfect situation? One minute left. 10 seconds if you could finish your card. Okay, stop writing, please. Time's up. Okay, can you click off this card if you finish writing? Alexander, I think you still are on the card.
Yep. Oh.
Okay. So, same kind of procedure. I'm moving all the cards to the bottom right now. And wait a second. I'm going to bring them to the front. Oh. Wait. Okay. Ah, can't even select the card. Okay, let me do this trick. Bring it to the front. Okay. So what you want to do is we are going to do the affinity diagram for this one again. We don't have that many cards, so let's see if we can actually put them in category. If not, don't need to force them. You can also leave them as is, or just simply park them as in the uncategorized card section. And don't forget to give the group a title.
Can I ask what does indeed mean in this card?
Indeed is a website where vacancies are being placed, vacancy descriptions, job advertisements.
All right.
Yeah, job website.
Yeah, I remember. Thank you.
I love the birds.
Yeah, I see a lot of cards that only have one, or a lot of groups only have one card, so we can actually park them all under the uncategorized section. Okay, there's one card left. Nobody wants to do anything with it. Moving it to the top here.
No, actually, I'm trying to move that one, but I think I was fighting with someone to move that card.
That was me, but I thought I let go. I left it to you.
I leave the car away so you can do it, but I think
I thought the same.
The mural fight. So this one doesn't have category, right? Or we can park it also under the uncategorized. Is that okay?
Yep.
Which one? My screen go freeze.
In 2 years, interviews will be less formal and more. Oh, I can't read. Someone's Alexander's mouse cursor is on top. Will be less formal and more of an open, streamlined discussion. Okay, so I'm just going to tidy this card a little bit. not too much. But... Okay. So, are you typing more, Rom? Okay, so maybe we can just spend a little bit of time to see if there's any redundant cards. If there are any things that are the same, highlight both, then we can see if you want to move it to the redundant card section. Okay, looks like we don't have anything redundant. Then I'm going to start a voting section. And please don't click on any cards now. And we have 11 people, roughly 20 cards.
18.
18. 3 votes. And let's see. Okay. And Robert, who is watching, told me to mute you guys.
Is there a magic formula to come to the number of votes?
Yes and no. There are different formulas, but most of the time, I still just go by my feeling. So I think Robert likes to use the number of cards divided by 2, but never go over 12 or 11. I think that's his formula. But if you watch him facilitate, he also doesn't stick to that rule either. And Asia and Smart also have a formula, which is the number of cards divided by the numbers of participants, and then divide that number by 2. So that formula will never work for us anyway. So we will be getting like half votes or something.
Don't forget the square roots and the exponentials.
Yeah. So yeah, in the end, I mean, there are formulas, but I don't know. Most of the time I just kind of go by my feeling.
I have a feeling that at Mural, they're watching our live stream because there's no conversation in the Slack channels anymore. So maybe we should just share a small thank you to Mural as a key tool for this global virtual design sprint. And this was not a message from our sponsors.
Certainly it looks like, but thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That'll give you a 3-year subscription.
You got it.
We should make it like a free subscription of Mural next time whoever is watching our live stream or something. Or do a draw.
Michael, tomorrow it's your turn, okay?
Ian, I see that you are very stuck. Same as Mamet. Tough choice, yeah?
Now you got me reacting.
Yeah. And now Fatima is like, oh. She wouldn't even let me finish the sentence unless she click.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, we we have the bird and oh, a ram. What is a ram, by the way? Looks like a mouse on the icon.
An animal you don't want to be chased by.
Is it like a bear?
A ram.
No, that's like a rambok.
Yeah, ram.
Okay.
Rambok, like a goat with horns.
Special
like
goat.
A large,
Special goat.
like really huge, or?
It's an aggressive goat, I imagine.
Okay.
They always fight. Rams always fight.
Looks
yeah,
like...
they're quite aggressive when they fight with each other. So.
The icon looks like a bear to me somehow, or a rat, or a mouse or something. Okay, everyone voted? Ending voting section. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So we have one
clear winner.
Yeah, clear winner. So 5 votes, 5 unique votes, which is in 2 years of time, companies publish purpose advertisements, not job vacancies. Huh, interesting. That's okay. And I'm going to copy that card and moving to our screen questions. And I'm going to bring everyone here. So and I'll paste the how my views a little bit after. I'll explain the exercise. And then when you guys are writing, then I'll bring down the how my reads also in this reference material box. So what we're going to do, so we were very optimistic in the last one and was thinking about what is the perfect scenarios in 2 years of term or a little bit more or less. And what we want to do is we are going to do the opposite. So we want to think very optimistically and to be really realistic of point of view. So think about what can we do? Like, can we, let me see, for example, so can we change the company's mindset on something? Like, we want to think of it really, very in a really realistic point, and then just write it down as a can we questions. Okay, you all look confused.
A little bit.
What's really feasible and what is a
Yeah,
challenge? Yeah.
Yeah, is it possible?
Yeah, is it possible to do that?
But we need to overcome to achieve those goals.
Think of it as like think of it how we can achieve this long-term goal, and there will probably some roadblocks in between. And then can we pass those roadblocks, whatever those roadblocks are, and those will be your answers. Can we blah, 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 pass that to achieve that goal?
Yes.
Alexandra, you still look confused.
I do. Is it like, it's not a pre-mortem, right? It's a little bit different. Is it like a realistic and not pessimistic, more realistic?
Both, actually, I would say.
It's a potential roadblocks in form of a risk.
Yeah, like what the worst case scenario, what we need to fix or what we need to pass in order to achieve our goal. So in the worst
what's your biggest hurdles?
Yeah. For example, can we avoid companies greenwashing their purpose during exercising?
Also, if I may add, it's something that we want to validate towards the end of the week. So it would be something feasible to validate within this time.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. Okay. More questions? No? Okay. I'm going to set a timer. 3 minutes. And you probably noticed that I set the timer a little bit shorter than what we usually give during a design sprint. It's for the reason that we have so many participants. So I my thinking is that because we have so many people, then we would probably have enough diverse thinking together. So that's the reason. One minute left. Ten seconds. Finish what you're writing. Okay. And if you're done, yeah, okay, good. So I'm going to move all the cards down, and we are going to do the affinity diagram. So slowly going down. Sorry, it's a little bit lagging for my side. Bring to front. Okay. So, someone, everyone, I think you already know what I'm looking at. Oh, there's a lot of 2 years of time. I'm going to delete those as well.
People are watching the live stream and actually responding to the RAM question.
Oh, really? Okay, so we are going to do the affinity diagram. Again, I think we don't have so many cards, so don't need to force the cards into a category if they don't fit in one. And you can just simply park them under the uncategorized card section. And don't forget to give a group name if they belong to any category. And now I'm going to use Murals, Google's the search, image search, and see what that actually looks like, the animal. Was it RAM, right? Yeah, RAM. Oh, thank you. I was using the mural image search and it's giving me like this stuff.
That's a dodge run.
Yeah.
I think we're missing. Do we have a unicorn? as an animal in mural?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Some people also suggest that they should have like different animal packs, like insects or like planets, like different kind of packages. I think it's going to be like really fun if that happens. What is that?
Oh, there's a unicorn.
Oh, it's still rendering on my side, so I didn't really see. See a lot of cards underneath here. If they don't belong to any category, we can just park them under uncategorized. Okay. Are we done? Yes, no, yes.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Third answer.
Okay, I'm deleting that group card there. So again, if you could spend a little bit time to see if there's any redundant. And there's also an option, like because I'm looking at the value of purpose, it seems like it's a very long tower there. So we can also break it down into potentially two groups. I'm going to, oops, I'm going to create an empty group card just in case if you feel like we can break that group down. You can park them on the left side. I create a new group card there, so you can take a look. If
So
there are
again, for my purpose, these are topics that might hamper making progress. Or is it a challenge as a first step in making progress on the long-term goal? How do I need to read them?
So this can be questions, literally what we are going to validate for, like what we try to validate with our solution. So when we have our prototype and we do our user testing, we want to see if our prototype can answer these questions. So we're picking out the top questions that we try to answer.
Yeah, and I also suggest, again, because we are doing user tests with the people we interviewed, that we always think of the people we have been interviewing and their respective answers to those questions. So it should somehow be related that they see we made some kind of solution or prototype that matches to their needs.
So I don't think we should draw into the conclusion that we are going to use the people who we already interviewed during the How Might We to do the user testing again. It may be a completely new set of people. I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't want to like draw in that conclusion too early.
Okay.
Yeah. So looks like we are good with this. Any duplicate cards? If not, then I'm going to start the voting section. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So start voting section. What the top 4 votes on this one. And voting started.
Hmm.
Marco has 1 vote, Ian has 1 vote, the Ram has 1 vote, and Mamet has 2. Well, Mamet, you just like did 2 votes all at once. You must be voting on the same card. I can tell that. Okay, everyone voted, and I'm ending the voting section. No changes. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So we have 4 cards. So the first one is, can we encourage companies to align hiring process with their own values and purpose? Second is, can we make purpose-driven advertisement fake-free? So we have 2 equally voted cards, and we are going to pick one of them, which will be the next process. But I'm just going to read them out. Can we pursue recruiters to use the purpose-driven approach for hiring their talents? And the other one is, can we demonstrate the purpose statements attracts more candidates than vacancy? So the 2 that are going to go to the next round, I'm put a border around, but we have 2 cards that, let me find that third one, yeah, okay. So these 2, they got the equally voted, and in this exercise, we only want to pick 3 questions. So we want to choose between these 2. What I want you to do is, okay, it's getting really slow on my side. So someone new, so you know what I'm looking at. I'm just going to count to 3, and you want to move your mouse cursor to one of those cards. Okay, hopefully that works. Hopefully we are not getting equally mouse cursors around that. So, okay, so move your mouse cursors on which card you think should move forward. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we have a lot on the left. Well, actually, we are having equally voted, and then Ian is joining the left one, and the Ram is joining the left. So I'm seeing a lot more on the left side. Okay, so that's our third third sprint questions. And Rom, you were saying something? I didn't quite understand. Sorry. Besides the coffee, please.
Oh, no. I was just suggesting before we move into the next part of the exercise, which is probably the next hour, on mapping and things like that, maybe someone is willing to summarize, let's say, the journey that we have gone through until now tonight, more or less, let's say, from the chaos that we had with all the how might we's and the problem statements to where we have landed now. Maybe there's someone that is willing to just summarize it from a content point of view, maybe from an experience point of view.
That's a good idea. Anyone wants to take on that? Just give us a quick summary on what has happened so far.
Okay, Mehmet, go ahead.
Mehmet?
Should I do it now? I thought I should do it in a written form after the call.
No.
We are live now. We are all live here.
Let's save your time. Do it now. Okay, great. So let me get back to the top part again. 1 second.
I'm going to follow you so everyone is knowing what we are seeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can summon everyone.
Let me try. So ask to be followed. This is what I can do.
Yeah, do that then.
Okay. Great. So we start with the first part of the problem statements. Beforehand, what we have been doing is in the kickoff session that we basically agreed on the problem statement template and the content towards that. So top voted what, why, where, and who is involved in the problem, and the chosen challenge, which is purpose-driven employment. And then afterwards, in this session, what we started with is to agree on a top problem statement to start with. And in that problem statement, let me see. We also used the problem statement in the SME interview part 2 out of 2, where we beforehand we had an interview with several experts or SMEs and got their needs and challenges regarding the matter of purpose-driven employment and our problem statement. Then we were thinking about which how might we's are basically our focus to work on further. We used the affinity diagramming for that, and we came out with the top 3 how might we's. And for that, we were thinking about a vision, basically, in what we want to achieve in 2 years' time. With the several options we have been generating together in the team, we have been using again the categorization in form of an affinity diagramming, and we came up with hiring, purpose, humanized approach, company profiling, and again a couple of uncategorized cards. Okay, need to get back. So then again, using the vision cards, let's say, the top vision cards, we started to formulate hypotheses and assumptions and doubts, where we came up with the top 3 questions, which are where exactly? Do I see that?
I think you need to go to the bottom of the section. I haven't moved them yet because
the
I'm following
affinity
you.
diagram.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, and now we also did the affinity diagramming for the assumptions we have been evaluating, and currently we have the top 3 assumptions also, which are: can we make the purpose-driven advertisements fake-free? Can we encourage companies to align hiring processes with their own values and purpose? And can we persuade recruiters to use the purpose-driven approach for hiring their talents? This is so far, and the next step basically would be to to make a map, basically to understand the process from each of the involved actors, and then to understand where their interactions are and what kind of goal they pursue. And having said that, I happily give back to Sandy.
I was hoping that
Nice.
you would continue and explain this exercise as well. Does anyone want to try and explain this exercise? Feel free. No?
The map?
Yeah.
Well, I can.
Okay.
So, well, this is, in my experience, one of the most confusing parts of the design sprint, especially because it's the first day. So what I usually explain to the teams that I have facilitated is that we need to start from the end and see where we are going to go, and then where we are right now, and then try to fill all the steps in between, right? So we have already made some can we statements that are, like Sandy said, like milestones that we may encounter in the way. So probably one of those steps are going to be those questions or how we are solving those. And particularly in this exercise, we are also trying to understand the hiring process because we are focused on that. So in your experience, for every one of us, which are the most important parts on a hiring process? And then we are going to use the how might we, the top voted one, and maybe another couple, to try to see where where do they fit in that map, and that in which part of that map. So are they in the first three steps, in the next three, or the last three? And that's more or less how I understand this exercise.
Okay. Any questions? Are you clear? Yeah, Michael?
Michael?
Is it, from what we did yesterday, it's the current state of the journey through what's happening at the moment, not the future, right?
Yes. So what we want to do, I'm going to reface. So what we want to do, I'm zooming into the instruction here. I'm going to summon everyone. So you want to choose an important actor for this journey so far. So basically we are mapping the user journey in a way for the current state. So the actor and where he or she wants to go in the end. So in the hiring process, I'm assuming, so for example, the employee, the end result or the end goal could be just to get hired, or the end result can be, I don't know, like get promoted in the end, or get in a company that is purpose driven. Just making assumptions here. So that's kind of the actor, and that's the end goal where he or she wants to go. But the actor is not only limited to employees, so you can think of what is related to our problem and our challenge, and think of the actors that is most important for, in your opinion. So you map out that journey. So and then you want to fill out. So that's the steps. So the first step will be write down the actor, and then think about the end goal, the end step. And okay, hold on. My view is like doesn't even want to move. Okay, so first the blue card on the left side is the actor, and the right side is the goal. And then you want to fill out the 9 steps in between. Actually, it doesn't have to be 9 steps. It can be, but doesn't have to be. So if you're missing 1 or 2 steps, it's not a big deal. And there are some headers on top, which it just got covered, which is the discover, learn, and use. Those are just headers to help you to think of the journey. So how these employees discover the company, how it learn about the company or the purpose of the company, blah, blah. but you don't need to particularly like fit the 3 steps in discover and then 3 steps in learning and 3 steps in use. You don't need to do that. So those are just helpers to help you to fill out those journey, but they are not like fixed headers or any rules to that. So
do we have already somewhere the complete set of reference materials?
I'm going to move them down in a second. So what I propose is that I will give you all until around 10:30 my time, so around 20 minutes. So you can choose to do this now, or you can take a small break and then come back and finish your role. What I want you to do is you at least, I don't know, like put a dot or start writing something so you know which role you are going to do. So then people are not going to write your, so choose a number. So this is what I'm trying to say. So choose a number and then start writing something on it so that you kind of mark down the role that you will be writing. So people are not going to start creating steps for you. Is that clear? Are we good? Okay. So if you want to take a break now, feel free, and then you can come back and do it. Or if you want to finish and then come back, that's totally fine.
What I explained made sense from the exercise. Yeah.
Sorry, I think I missed that part, man, because I was away.
It's the same thing that Sandy just explained it, but different words.
Yeah, I think it's actually very helpful when we have a co-facilitator, because I think different people have different interpretation with the same word or different words. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I just moved or copied everything that we have done in the reference material box. So when you write the path, you can keep just take a look of those to make sure that we are all aligned.
Candy, how much time do you? Sorry, I'm watching. How much time do we have writing?
So I will give you until my time is 10:30, so around 17 minutes left. And when you are done, or if you want to take a break now, feel free, and then you can come back and do it. Or if you want to do it now, and then you can finish it now and take a break, and then be back at my time 10:30.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Who is number 10? Is that Fatima? Are you?
Yes, it's me.
Could you write it on number 2? Then I'm going to delete those extra cards, so then we don't have extra elements in the mural. Thank you.
But do I understand it correctly that we try to map the as-is situation, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for the question. I was asking that myself. Helps.
You're welcome.
And I'll be back, but I will be wearing my wireless headset, so if you need me, just scream.
There's something that I just remember. It's, well, part of the thing that why the map is confusing, at least for me, is we start to think like from taking solutions or thinking about solutions, and I don't know if someone else has that those thoughts. So
Yes,
I don't know if we can like go in a bigger picture.
Yeah, last night we had the same problem. Few of our participants, team member, wrote a solution instead of current journey map or customer.
Yeah, so we are looking for the current journey, so how people are going to achieve the path that they're achieving their goals right now. And what the map is going to do is we will use the map to identify an area of the problem. Then we can focus on that area and then try to find solution around that. So it's important that we are talking about the current state.
All right. Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Ian, your sound is on.
Sorry.
Sandy, do we vote horizontally or vertically?
Say again.
Do we vote horizontally or vertically?
Vote.
But yeah, because it says.
Are you?
Yeah,
you're
it says
mentioning
vote
that
on the individual cards that represent the best path from active to goal.
Yeah.
Etc. And then one possibility would be to say, okay, well, we have 10 options and vote for one of the options, and then we're done. Or we say we go through each step and then say, okay, well, which one of those, 10s, etc. So you would be voting basically 6 times to get to an end, or 7. Sorry, 8 or 9 times even. But I guess it's rather between the different options.
So what we normally do is that. So what we normally do is, like, when I give you the vote, you're not only voting on one single path.
Okay.
You're voting on all the cards here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not horizontal or vertical, I guess.
Ah, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ian, can you move your cursor? Thank you.
So you said we vote for all cards, right, Sandy?
Yeah, we are going to vote on all the cards.
So what happens if I have on step 1, 10, and then another one on step 1, 9, and then on step 2, 2, and then 3, etc.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
So the steps are, we are going to vote on the cards, and then well, first of all, I'm going to ask everyone will explain their path, and then we are going to do a voting and then vote on the individual cards. And then afterward, or while we are looking, actually before we vote, we want to look at the cards and see if there are similarities. If there are, then we will highlight them in the same color, so that we kind of get an idea where some of the paths are, or some of the people are thinking the same steps. And then we vote on the individual cards, and then after that, then we will get like a big picture of like what people are thinking the most important steps, along with the colors coded. Then we know, like, we get that big picture from that way.
Okay.
And then I'll ask you like where how my wreaths are fitting in the map.
Okay.
So around about time, did everyone finish? Anyone not finished yet?
There are 2 on step 5 and 8.
5 and oh, you mean we have empty steps?
Yes.
That's fine though. I just want to make
Okay.
sure if that's what is intended to be, that's fine.
Yeah.
Are you cropping the photo, Ian? You're on mute, by the way.
It's now in the right order, and you are mirrored.
Oh,
so now you can repurpose.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're rearranged it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay,
I
let's
was
delete the
going to
first
do
one.
that. Nice.
Yeah, cool.
Put that on the Slack.
Yeah. Okay, anyone still writing? Okay, Carrie, you have to go. Okay.
Yes, I have to run now. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, yeah?
Okay, sure.
Thanks very much. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, nobody is still writing, right? Last call.
No.
Okay,
Done.
I'm deleting all the empty cards so that they don't confuse us. So I'll explain the steps again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to very shortly explain your path to everyone. Hopefully that is going to be, because we have 10 people, so hopefully that doesn't take too long, and then we can finish the map today. And after that, then we will be, or while the people are explaining, once you get the first, then when you listen to the second, and then you hear some steps are similar, you can start changing the color of the card to the same color. And then the next step will be, we will be doing a voting section. And then after that, then I will ask you guys whether how my wheel should fit in the map. But those are the next steps. Let's focus on the first one first. So I'm just going through the numbers from the top. So whoever wrote the first path, could you just give us a quick explanation of it?
That's me, Michael.
Okay.
Which
animal are you? Let me follow you so then we know where you are.
I'm the ram.
That's you, the animal that I don't know.
The bear.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so I went with hiring manager. First step, asked to seek out new talent for a specific role. Researches that role, looks at other job sites for PD. So PD is product description or position description, inspiration. creates PD and posts to job sites, filters through applicant CVs for shortlists, quick 10-minute phone interview, sets up in-person interview with key staff, second on then optional third round of interviews with key staff, conversation with key staff members for preference and why, sends offer to candidate for consideration, candidate accepts, hires employee.
Okay. Any questions for Michael?
No.
Okay. Second path. Fatima.
Fatima.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Sorry. It's me. The second one is my actor is a recruiter. The story is that a company approached her or him and asked for help, and then they organize a meeting together to write a job or prepare the job description. Then she or he works on try to finalize the job description, and after she get the approval, she advertise the job description on websites like Indeed or Seek or similar websites, and then she received lots of resume and try to collect, I don't know, separate a few that are more related to job description, and maybe check their online profile, like LinkedIn profile, if she has time. And then she organized the first phone interview with the selected talent, and then the next step, she organized the second round of interview face-to-face or Skype with the staff from the company, and then she talked with the references that shortlisted talents provide for her, and then organized a meeting with a client to talk about salary that they have, I don't know, in their mind, and negotiate that salary with talent. And then company send the contract, or recruiter send the contract to their new team member that they chose. Do you have any question, guys?
No.
Okay. Number 3.
Yes, my stakeholder will be the company, and then quite the similar flow as Fatima has. So the company doesn't have any time or effort to look for the employees. So he seeks out for a recruiter. Then he makes a deal with recruiter. And then the recruiter creates a company profile and job subscription of what the company would like to hire. Then the recruiter uses his own network, platforms, and other channels to spread the job subscription for the right persons. Those potential employees will find that vacancy on their platforms. They will fill in their interest if there's a match from their side, and a recruiter will match it if they think it's matchable with the company side. So based on some metrics, they will connect them with the company. Then the company will have some interviews with them, and eventually, when that process finished, they choose one and give them a test period where they agree to have a potential match, with a goal that the company finds the right person, hopefully, for their goals.
Questions?
No.
I have a question. The step of employees fill in their interest in connect with recruiter. Can you explain that?
I think that will be other way. If you fill in that you're interested in that vacancy, the recruiter will connect with you to connect you with the company.
I see. Okay.
With, I will rewrite it better. Is it clear?
Mm. Yeah, no, it's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 4.
Number 4 is mine.
Okay.
Which
animal are you? Bird?
Sorry. I'm the shrimp, the blue shrimp.
Shrimp. Okay.
Yeah, the mural is only giving me seafood. Yeah. I'm talking about the perspective or talent acquisition. It can be a department or it can be the VP of talent acquisition. The first step for me is to align the project needs with the vacancy, the space we need to fill with project. Maybe if we need a person specifically for a project, that trigger the vacancy. Step number 2 is generate a job description and the purpose alignment of that job description. Maybe because if you're gonna hire an engineer that is a junior WA or something like that, you need a specific alignment. There is not the same for a VP of business development, maybe the age, or maybe a lot of things. Step 3 is the awareness stage. And this time is to check if our ads is reflecting our purpose in order to attract the talent. Step 4 is receiving the applications. Step 5 is the fit assessment. It depends of the job description and the vacancy we have. Step 6 is have a deep conversation in order to understand the motivation and aligning with our brand or purpose, whatever it comes. Step 7, job description and compensation is presented to the candidate. Step 8 is the if second and third round of interview is necessary. This is the step. And step 9 is send an offer. And the goal is to hire the talent.
Okay. Questions? All clear? Okay, so then what's number 4, right? So number 5.
Yes.
Is that maybe is Carrie's flow? Nobody's here, right? Okay, then I'm going to just read them. Number 5. So the actor is the talent, and the first step is job needs analyze and evaluate. So what do you want, for example? And then step 2 is seek out avenues for job search, evaluate companies or job, and then prepare for interviews and consider the offers, remedy and actions in case of rejection. And the goal is a goal. Yeah, okay. So obviously you may have questions, but I can't really answer. But if maybe other people can, do we have any questions here? All right, then number 6.
That would be me.
Okay. Okay, let me follow you. Yeah.
Thank you. So I had the hiring business department in mind as an opposite to the actual HR department. And please, Mr. Bird, could you move your cursor for me? I don't have.
Fly away, bird. Fly away.
Oh, is he not in anymore? Maybe he left. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah. So of course, the first thing for the business department is to define budget and their current needs. They need both, and then they contact their colleagues in HR. Together, they review and approve the job ad, of course, and then out of magic, because they're not interested in anything else, they get and review the pre-screened candidates, the CVs and reference. And then as step 4, they will do a short phone interview with some of the selected candidates. And the ones they like, they invite for longer interviews. As step 6, they will have a second round, maybe with lesser interviews, lesser candidates or new candidates, also to test specific skills, like are they able to present in front of people, what you might need, like in sales. Then they would all together evaluate the assessments, compare different candidates with the HR team. Again, secure the final budget if they really have it, and make an offer to the candidate, and then hope that the candidate accepts and sign the papers. And normally, at least in Germany, we hire candidates on probation because we're never really sure if that's a final good one.
Okay, thank you. Questions? All clear? Okay, so number 7.
Me, Daniel.
Okay, let me look for your name. Okay, you are being followed.
So my perspective is from a small company, and they have like 1 or 2 people looking for talent. So they are the talent employer, and they are actively looking for a position or new talent. They also do the prospect, the job description, and they start a search or publish the vacancy in the platform. And normally, in my experience, they reach to their networks and also uh, the applications they get from the platforms, see their previous jobs and experience, then have a first conversation like in the previous ones by phone mostly, then have a in-person more in-depth conversation trying to reveal the purpose or the reason for working in there, then another meeting with higher managers or people they are in charge of that position, then present the job responsibilities and put it into test. So maybe there's like an example of a past project that they have and see how they behave and how they respond. So that's normal for me. Then present the job offer and sign the agreement if everyone is okay with that. And yeah, then they hire.
Okay, so your goal is to hire a candidate match on experience and motivations, right?
Yes.
Okay, questions? No. Okay, next one, number 8.
That's me. All right. So I have the internal recruiter, basically, not the external one. The internal recruiter gets in touch with the department to understand employee requirements. Then the recruiter prepares a job description and put it on the marketing channels. It gathers and screens the respective applications of applicants. It invites the candidates after selecting the applications, performs the interviews with the candidates. And then there's a short list of candidates, and then X further interviews with candidates will be performed, and the amount of interviews will narrow down finally to 1 or X amount of or Y amount of candidates, and then an offer will be sent. The candidate optimally accepts the offer, and then the candidate will be hired where a purpose match is likely. Any questions?
Okay, next one. I think we're at number 9.
Okay, guys. So for me, is the hiring teams. So they are the internal hiring teams of the company. First step would be discuss talent needs internally, and then the second one is create job ads. And then they submit it to hiring platforms like LinkedIn and Indeed. And then they eventually receive applications, and then they screen the applicants that they're receiving, and they start the interview rounds for the people that qualify. And for the people who successfully do the interview rounds, and they set up meetings between them and the potential colleagues, so more interviews. And then internally, they approve the the candidates and confirm that they like these candidates, and then they eventually send the offer, and employee gets hired, and eventually the employee is onboarded and integrates with the company. That's the goal for me.
Thank you. last but not least.
Number 10. I'm taking the perspective of a company recruiter, an in-company recruiter. So first step is that they review the job description with the hiring manager, not by the hiring manager, but with the hiring manager. Then the recruiter prepares the vacancy description in a cut and paste way from earlier job descriptions and vacancy descriptions. After approval, he or she publishes it on social platforms or recruitment websites. Applicants are responding, but are matched on skills and experiences. Review of job applicant profiles is limited to the insights in them, limits the insights in their motivations. A long list of candidates is prepared that have the skills and the relevant experiences. Then a short list is invited to have video screening, video interviews. And then these video interviews are done, and there is a high-level insight obtained on the candidate's motivation out of the interviews, but it's hard. The review of the video screening based on recruiter criteria and bias, and that delivers in the end a short list of purpose-matching candidates.
Questions? Clear? Okay. We have 10 minutes left. I just want to see if you are okay if we go over 10-15 minutes or we all have a hard stop. Give me a thumbs up if you can do, if not, thumbs down. Fatima, I don't know if you have your thumbs up or down. And Juan. But seems like everyone is good. Okay, good. So I try to, what I want to do is we finish this mapping exercise, and then I want to brief you for the next exercise, which is going to be taken offline. So what we want to do, we want to spend a little bit time. I'll give you like 3 to 5 minutes. And if you see anything that are similar, then you want to put them in the same color. So set a timer for 3 for now. If we need more, then we'll see. What happened here? There are 2 cards that were like covering each other. Like on step 2 on row number 6. Okay. I don't know where to put it. I'll put it right here. If you know where that card should belong, then you can. What, say again?
I have a suggestion. In one of the teams, because we have lots of team members as well, for each affinity diagramming or similar activities, we choose 2 or 3 people to just do that. And after a few minutes, if we have any suggestion, we just tell them.
You're saying like we choose a lead to do the affinity diagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
or,
some.
And changing the color of this one, because for example, I changed a color of car to I don't know, orange, and someone else changed that to green. You know what I mean? So if we choose 2-3% to be a leader and do that, and after, I don't know, a few minutes, we give them comments, or if we have a different opinion, let them know. It might be easier. I don't know.
So I think for this map, we can try that, but actually, personally, I would not do that for affinity diagram, because the main purpose for affinity diagram is to trick the users or trick the participants to read all the cards. Yes. That's why most of the times, actually, the categories don't matter so much. So if we just have 2 people are doing the affinity diagram, then literally only those 2 people actually have read the cards. So yeah, that defeats the purpose of it. And yeah, but for this map, maybe it makes sense because we are like fighting with colors and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we can also try that. I'm open for that. Anyone want to take the lead? Raise your hand if you want to do that. So Daniel, 2 more people maybe? No? I think everyone is having fun fighting with the colors. So.
That's fine. Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so time's up. Anyone have anything, or are we done, or are we not done? Done? Good. Okay. But can someone tell me why this card is covering this orange card on number 6, step 2?
What do you mean with covering?
So it was like this.
Uh-huh.
And there's a card under, like behind it, that got covered. I just wonder, like, why?
I didn't see it. I only see the pink one.
Okay, so
Do you see another one?
Yeah, so I'm seeing an orange one. Maybe it's my screen. Yeah, so yeah, Ian just pulled the other one on the side.
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah. They were like on top of each other, and I just
okay. So it should be like this. To me, it was always separate. I didn't really.
Was it your row, number 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Move it all up.
Yeah. Can just move to the right order that you were intended to. Okay. Once you are done, so I'm going to. Are you good?
That would not be the order.
Which is the order?
I'm confused. Okay, so step 2 is review and approve job at.
So step 2 is review, and then the other ones move back like this. Yeah?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to start a voting section. So which step do you think are most important in the journey? So giving you 9 votes on this one, because we're the longest path, we have 9 steps. And this one, you don't want to vote on multiple. No, you don't want to put more than 1 vote on 1 card. So you only want to put 1 vote on 1 single card.
What are we voting for?
So think about what steps you think is the most important in the journey.
Maybe.
Can I just say something? Should we not be choosing the actor plus the goal as well? Yeah. So shouldn't you have 11 votes?
Okay. Normally we don't do that.
I'm just going off yesterday. We actually put 11, so we chose like a stakeholder or an actor plus the actual goal at the end.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, we can. I mean, we can try that. I just don't know what that will bring, honestly. But
no. It's run it how you just run it how you would usually. I'm just asking the question, just like.
But I'm open.
Is it normally done that way?
I don't see a reason of doing that, and I don't see a reason not doing that. So let's try that. I think. Which steps?
I don't know how far it's relevant, but we can try it. But maybe it's a good idea to read out the problem statement again.
So, Michael, what you try to say is we choose a perspective, and in base of that perspective, we use a body.
Yeah, it's just that for me, you can't really choose the cards unless you have an idea of what actor or stakeholder that you want to focus on, because otherwise you're going to have a sort of weird step through the process, right? Because from a hiring manager's perspective versus like a talent is going to be very different.
But we are not really choosing one single path, so in the end, it's not really important that now we are picking the actor or the goal in an end, like in a way.
More focusing on the touch point where to start from.
But I've never tried it actually, so I am also curious. Like if I give you 11 votes, what that will bring to to the table.
So what would you? But just coming back to what's the goal of this then? I thought it's like, the current journey through a specific actor. That's what we're trying to solve.
So this whole exercise, we are only trying to find an area where we can focus our design sprint on, where we want to solve the problem based on that journey. And we are not necessarily voting on our goal is not to find out what is the correct journey for the recruiter or the talent. It's not what we are trying to do here. So.
Okay. All good. 9 votes is fine then. That's all right. I see you've got 11.
Yeah, I gave you 11. I just want to see, I'm also like to experiment, so let's see.
I think we should try to make the heat map with those 4 votes to figure out the correct touch point where we can find a solution for our problem statement. So the flow for the rest is not really relevant. It's the focus point.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And we don't do double votes?
No.
Only one?
1 vote for 1 card.
So when there are 5 green cards, which we assume are similar to each other, can I put each of one, just theoretically, so I understand the logic?
You can vote on any of the green ones if you like.
Okay.
The color coding are just a visual clue for you to see what the similar steps are.
Thank you.
Robert is correcting me here. So he said that you were right. We should also vote on the actor and the goal. So let's see. And he's watching our live stream.
Houston, we got it.
It's his TV.
be very honest, I have no clue what I'm voting for.
Those are not no solutions. So this is, yeah, I think we have to reframe it in our own minds that where, if we can fix this step to make a bigger impact with our new solution, then we should vote on that.
But we have no, but it's more like the domain area where it's not, because we have no solution in mind yet. We're not fixed by a solution yet. It's more an area where we feel we can impact the most with the time we're going to invest.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm thinking in the first 5 steps should get the more votes, and the last 4 maybe they not get that many votes because they are consequences of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy,
yes.
I think we should have a lighting decision jam about the way how we use the mapping to evaluate this mapping exercise.
Yeah, it's always the most confusing part for the whole design sprint for me.
For the first day, at least, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And funniest thing is actually it's not that important also. Compared to like other exercises.
Last night we spent most of our time on developing the map. I think, I'm not sure, maybe an hour or more than that.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Robert.
Hey, we have a host.
Being like all of a sudden, I'm the person that was observing. Now I'm actually like going and going. Hey, he's doing
help us out.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions about the map. That's yeah.
All right, go ahead.
First of all, should we focus on the already decided stakeholder and the long-term goal at the end, or focus on the current state?
So catch me up to speed before I answer that question. What are you currently voting on now?
That is the question.
like we are agreeing on which 9 steps we are putting in our journey.
So basically, you're building it on steps 1 through 9, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're trying to consider whether or not both the actor as well as the goal should be considered if they're already stated in either the problem statement or the challenge, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would recommend right now is, even though people are pretty much done with their vote, you probably cancel this vote out and do it again. But this time you basically include both the actor and the end result so that everyone is aligned on that idea, that you guys are concentrating on the same actor and the same challenge, because probably if they're stated in there, they're probably duplicates of them. But that's what I would do at least first. And the whole purpose of the exercise is just to show where on the map there seems to be alignment beyond what you've already color coded as similar colors. This is just basically like layers of refinement. So getting the exact right path from start to finish isn't the goal. What you're really trying to do is figure out where there's importance. So if you think of the layers, the first step is what you've already done, which is see where people are aligning in terms of the steps. Right, so I notice you have some orange over here on the far right between 8 and 9, where there seems to be some like alignment on where those go. There's also some alignment early on in the green part in terms of the starting point. So that's one impression. This vote you're doing here is going to be another one where you're going to, from your perspective, figure out of everything that's here, what seems to be the proper path that a particular actor that's listed on the left would take to get a certain goal, and see if there's alignment on the team about that path. Doesn't necessarily need to be the right one. We're not trying to figure that out yet. What we're trying to do is figure out from your perspective and seeing if there's, again, commonality, where on the map there seems to be alignment around where we're thinking around how someone goes from start to finish in relation to the challenge. Then the third step, real fast, is that you take the how might we's that you voted on previously with those circular dots, I believe, and you basically place them on the map where they seem to make sense. And usually Sandy, it's the same thing as using the mouse cursor and doing a circle in terms of where on the map that question could be answered. You could include the long-term goal that you don't really need to, but then after that, it should be pretty apparent between the cards, the color cards, the votes, the how might we notes, where the focus should be. And that's usually where you have an open-ended conversation with the group around where that target should be. Does that make sense?
Can I just say something, Robert?
Go for it.
So there's a couple of things, just for these duplicate or around the same color coding. I'm not really sure if we should like remove a lot of these to begin with before we start voting, otherwise it's going to be a bit skewed. But with regards to like having the stakeholder, the actor, and then as well as voting on at the end, I don't think that's really necessary. I think we should really be limiting the number of votes really down to maybe 3, 4, and then just voting on what you feel that is most impactful or the biggest impact that we can come out for moving forward.
Yeah, and I appreciate that perspective, but what I'd like to ask, at least for this exercise, is to trust the process, in that this has been done before with multiple virtual sprints in the past. So while I lean towards experimentation like Sandy does, this is the one tricky part where if you start to do some on-the-fly changing from the process that we've established, you might run into some rabbit holes.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's all good.
No, I appreciate the suggestion. Just with this particular one, it's one of those things where the dirt road looks really cool because it's off-road and you can see a lot of new stuff, but there's also the chance that you may have to take twice as long to get there. So if in fact the process that we have established doesn't work, then we'll certainly revisit it and say, okay, well, why don't we try a different tack? But at least what we're just trying to do is get an impression of everything we see here, where the one spot we should concentrate the rest of our efforts for the remainder of the week should be.
And that's actually the reason I don't understand why we should be voting on the actor, at least. Maybe the goal, it makes sense, but the actor, I'm still not so clear on why. So, like, for example, we already identified that the hiring manager or the recruiters are our target. But what if we end up voting on the actor as a talent?
Then you have an interesting conversation to have. Because that means that the team is thinking different things, and it's not exactly as clear and as cut as you've done previously. So you want to talk that through to make sure that everyone has a common understanding around who you're going to be doing this for. Is it one person? Is it multiple people? It's worth having the conversation. So sometimes they're clear, but other times the things get a little muddy. But again, when you see those votes come through, then you kind of go, okay, it looks like we've kind of focused not only on companies but also talent. There's an even split between the two in the votes. Let's take 5 or 10 minutes to talk about that. For the people that voted on the companies, since maybe that's against or not against, but that's different from what you did in the problem framing, what compelled you to kind of vote in that regard? And just explore their thinking, because you want to get perspective. It's not a right or wrong answer. You just want to see why the deviation away from the established narrative that you had said previously.
So how many votes should we be getting if we're following the process correctly? It should be 11 or?
Yep. 1 for each column. So basically you would think of it from like start to finish in terms of the path you would take. Now, again, it all depends on how much time you have. Are you over right now, Sandy, or where are you at in terms of time?
15 over.
Okay, so you might as well go with what you have, and just
no, but
see.
It's good because I gave them 11 votes.
Okay. All right. So we can see where it is. I mean, I'm looking on
need Ian to stop voting.
Ian, stop voting. Ian, what are you doing, man? We're 15 over.
I'm back. No worries. No worries.
I love you, but everyone's got to catch a train or get a cup of coffee or something. Maybe they're holding out for the bathroom, but they're needing you to vote.
I'll be back on track fast.
Actually, I'm looking for the Sandy. Could you include the mural link into the Zoom chat so I don't have to dig for it?
Okay.
I have a question. Did actually everybody use 1 vote, at least for the actor, and 1 for the goal? Then we would be fine.
Yeah, I did. I put 1 in each column.
Who am I going to be? If I'm going to be an animal or not.
But I could also do 2 votes on the actor column, right?
1 vote for each column.
1 vote for each column, yeah.
If you do 2 votes on the actor, then you're missing 1 step, I guess.
Then I have to start voting all over again because I didn't understand that.
That was not
Come on, Jerome. What are you doing?
Let me start.
After all we've been through, you gotta do that, right?
No, I got different instructions.
It's fine. Okay. So that's funny because it says I've got 2 votes. I don't know what I voted on. I didn't vote for anything.
Yeah, it says that you voted on something.
Because I'm late, it took away 2 of my votes because I'm not worthy of voting. Apparently.
We also had this situation where it says -2 votes.
Yeah. So maybe those votes, I cast them back into the past. I don't know. I actually be taking them from the past if that was the case.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of it and then I'm going to send it to Miro.
And yeah, just for reference, Sandy, when I kind of do the one-offs, like the individual ones, I'm going to start enlarging some of these circles just because I'm finding I'm doing that when I'm doing, like, I'm co-facilitating or helping out. Just the size of them seems to be a little small in comparison to some of the space.
Can you actually do anything to the mural?
I was following up with Jason's thing about individual ones. Huh?
You can do anything to the mural now because we are voting and normally everything...
No. I meant outside of this effort.
Okay.
Like when you talk about the templates. I'm going to do a pass on the templates tonight.
Yeah, the mural was like way too slow.
Yeah.
Like, even for this one, because I only had the day 1 exercise here and the lightning demo.
Yeah, we'll have to tell Mural because I don't know if it's because of the background graphics or what the deal is. I'm not exactly sure.
It seems like it's just much slower than before because last GVDS we also have like giant mural and it was slow but not this slow. So yeah. I also wonder
And
if
for
it has
future,
sorry.
what were you saying?
I was wondering if it has anything to do with the outline because last section the outline function was not existed yet. So.
I think maybe, I'm not sure. I think maybe it's related to the background or graphic element. I mean, those visual elements.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like in GVDS
because last
2,
year
we
we had,
also. Sorry?
Last year we had less, I don't know, you are right. Last year we had 5 days in one board,
Yeah.
but it was much
So this
better.
is 4:35. My son is here supervising the note count to make sure that everyone votes the way they should. So Marco and Alexandra.
Excuse me?
Alexandra and Marco have 2 votes left.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm finished.
I was.
Just a quick question. How do you get your image to come up instead of one of the animals? Because I've signed in, but it doesn't show it.
You have to be a part of the person's workspace. So you have to have their email on file. And it saves the profile picture. Yep, Marco's the only one that has their vote left. And we're going to figure out where the heat map is. Yeah, that's me. I'm not voting. Though it said I had 2 votes. It said Zandy's not voting either.
No, I'm not voting. I think we have.
I have 0 votes. No more.
Oh, Alex. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm done.
Marco, you good?
Okay, you're giving up that 1 vote.
Okay.
1 person left.
Yes. There's a negative vote count there too.
What?
All right.
All right, end the votes. Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, the voting results isn't so important, but what you want to do is go back to the map and look at where the votes are. So the way to read it is that the one that had 4 votes that you saw at the very beginning was receiving application. So it's this one right in the middle in step 4. Then you look at then also the numbers of 3s that are around that as well, kind of like a connector. So if you look at the step 5, there seems to be one in the orange section of all of them that reads like this, where it's this. I'll zoom in a little bit so I can see it. It's review resumes and their online profile and invite the ones that match the job description. So that's kind of the way to read it from left to right, is that kind of look at the vote tally and see how they kind of like go from like left to right. Also over on the left-hand side where you have recruiter, hiring manager, it looks like there's 2 for company. There's more on the hiring side than there is on everything else. There's recruiter, hiring manager, talent acquisition. That seems to kind of favor the company side more so than the talent itself. So everything's more business related, or at least that's how I'm reading into it.
There's only 1 row for talent.
Yeah. So Sandy, at this point, what you would do is take those how might we's and kind of put them over this and ask the group how they would basically answer those particular 3. But I would enlarge them just a little bit so they're a little easier to read in comparison to the cards.
Like this?
Yeah, and maybe put a border on them or something.
Okay. So the first one is how might we design experience during the hiring process that make the purpose visible on both sides. So move your mouse cursor to where you think this how might we belong.
And what you want to do is just take your mouse cursor and circle it in an area where you think that question could be answered. So somewhere either on the left or the right, and then Sandy's just going to follow the arrows and put it in that spot.
Okay.
Design experience.
Right around there. Okay.
All right.
And the next one?
Next one is how might we help companies to understand hiring is not about matching matching skill set for now, but also for the future roles. So move your mouse cursor. See a lot of them around here.
Right around there, right in the very beginning. Yep.
Here?
Yeah. Go ahead and click on that sun and move it just a little bit over. So click and hold your mouse button.
You're training him already?
Yeah, right around there.
Starting when they're young, right? Okay, the third one is how might we help reduce the time and cost to find a purpose that match without lose the quality?
I don't see that. Maybe at the end.
Yeah, you want to move your mouse cursor where you think that particular dot should go.
Yeah.
So we see some on the right.
We are not voting. We and Dad are not voting.
Yeah. So it's the Mehmet thinks it's somewhere in the middle. Fatima thinks there's somewhere in step 5. So there's kind of a delineation between the two. It seems like there's more of a majority towards the middle than there is at the end, but there could probably, maybe it's a consideration for a secondary target and see if that goes someplace.
This is, yeah, can you keep moving? Because I don't actually see all the mouse cursor now. Okay, but I'm seeing a lot of here, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at this stage, what you're going to do is basically pick a target on the map that you want to focus the rest of your efforts for the remainder of the week. But you want to kind of agree as a group on terms of where that could go. So you have evidence to suggest that there's 2 how might we's on row 5. Seems to be a place where you could concentrate in that space. There's also a secondary one around step 5 and step 6. That could act as a secondary target or the main target. But if you want to vote for the main target now before we put it on there, and let's take this off for a second just to verify. Go ahead and put your mouse somewhere on the map where you think the primary target should be or what you should focus on for the rest of your sprint. And
I was right.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be biased. So Mehmet and Fatima kind of think there's value over on step 5, so that's probably your secondary target right there. Okay. So go ahead and put the main target there, and yeah, the secondary to the supporting one goes right where Fatima is. And you guys have your targets for the week. So all those cards and steps that are around those spaces are going to influence your thinking around where to go next, and especially around the main target in terms of the answers that you're going to do. Now, the question I have after doing this is, how much does this align with your original thinking during your problem framing exercises? Does this seem to kind of be in the same place?
Yeah, for me it does.
Yeah, for me too.
That was me.
Is there anyone where you feel like it doesn't?
It always surprises me that we spend so much time on this exercise and it's so much aligned with what we already had before we started this exercise. So I wonder what the value add is.
Probably it was to affirm that you were thinking along the same lines, because this kind of gets out the deviation around the norm, or the deviation around the thinking to see where people are. So it's just to make sure it's more inclusive rather than just making assumptions.
Okay, clear.
For me, it's still not clear about, we're interviewing at the beginning people, and then we say, okay, well, those people might not be the same people which we'll be interviewing afterwards. And somehow all of this depends on the input which we are getting at the beginning. And if the people which we're interviewing afterwards are not the same people as at the beginning, then I'm not sure how we are doing the match of, we're starting with a problem, but then we might end up at solving a totally different problem as well. So I'm not, but maybe it's just part of the process and I just need to go with the flow to understand it.
But it's different kind of interviewing, because the interviews that we do at the beginning of the design sprint is to find out we try to get the expert perspective from them, right? But in the end, what we want to do is we get the real users that will actually use our solution. So whoever we interview in the beginning may not be the end users, what our solution end up to be. I don't even know what the solution is. So it may really be the same people, but it can be a product that is not even relevant to them in a way.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
Okay, in our position, it could be that the SME is the same as the user, but not necessarily. Okay.
Yeah. But I do have a question, Robert. So I thought that the main target is always the top vote of how might we? Am I wrong there?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It basically lends weight to where you could basically go. But the idea is that the questions that you posed, that you generated from the interviews, are going to be answered in this space when you start exploring it as part of your ideation process. The top voted how might we's are a way of basically centering your thinking, or at least your environmental thinking around the challenge. This is just a way of layering both similarities in thinking, your thoughts around where this experience should go, like the experience of the process, at least the optimized one. Then it takes into account all of those different kinds of perspectives. And then eventually it becomes self-evident where you should kind of spend your time. And again, like to Jerome's point, it may seem like it's counterproductive, or at least it's a lot of time spent on something that was already established. But I've seen it work the opposite way, where at the end of this session, everyone has landed on something that was completely 180 different from what they had established earlier, because they were just presented with new evidence perspective.
What I want to add is also that the exercise helps us on what to prototype, because if you have more further in the beginning of the map, you will more likely build a landing page and storytelling about the concept. And if you're more a target on the end of the map, you're more likely prodding a bit of a prototype or a system or the solution itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are way over time. I'm just going to very quickly tell you what we need to be, what we need to do before we meet up again tomorrow, which is, I already summoned everyone here, which is the lightning demo. So before we meet up, you want to look for examples that can potentially, or examples that has solved similar issues or problems, and you want to capture that in this mural here. And then what you want to do is basically paste the link in this square, and then you add some notes which is already prepared on the blue notes on top. Obviously, if you want more notes, you can still do that. And then just put some notes around and explain the reasons why you think this example can inspire other people to think about a solution after. Clear?
Can I just ask a quick question? So just coming back to where the how might we you've positioned this, are we looking at just all the top cards in these two adjacent columns, or is it, is it just around the exact point where you've positioned how might we's? Because you've got cards that have got votes 3 to that are farther down as well.
Yeah, I would look at the whole big picture around it. So we look at all the how might we, the spin questions, and also which area we actually chose, like the main target area and the supported area. And then we think about our fun examples along that line. It doesn't have to be exactly that solve what we are trying to solve, but take it as like an inspiration for others to generate more solutions afterwards.
Have we taken the group photo yet?
We have. You want to see it?
All right, good. No, I'll see. I'll check it for you later. Just want to make sure we capture at least for day one.
Okay. Well,
it's on mural already.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's at the left of the map. You can see.
Yeah, right here.
Well then, fair enough. Fantastic.
Can you read? What is that?
Yeah, I got it.
And I really like how your shadow is like going through your face there.
Well, I need vampire teeth from Halloween to make it really like. Wow.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you again tomorrow.
Thank you for
Really,
staying
really
after
great.
very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Great
all.
section.
Have a great night. See you
for
tomorrow.
joining. Thanks, Sandy.
Bye.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody. Bye.
Bye.